Michigan men charged for allegedly plotting an ISIS-inspired Halloween attack said in online messages that their goal was to replicate the 2015 Paris terrorist attacks that killed at least 130 people. These new images released by a federal court in Michigan today show the suspects, Mahmoud Ali and Mahjed Mahmoud, both 20 years old, at a gun store and a gun range. Agents recovered 3 AR-15 style rifles, more than 1,600 rounds of ammunition, 4 handguns, tactical vests, and more. The lawyer who represents one of the suspects says there was no plot of any kind. Let's discuss with CNN legal and national security analyst Carrie Cordero. So, Carrie, the alleged plot was uncovered when an FBI agent infiltrated an online chat room. The criminal complaint even accuses them of scouting possible LGBTQ plus friendly attack locations. Now that we're seeing more evidence, more details, what do you make of the strength of the case? I mean, it's early still, but we knew nothing last week when we first heard about it. What do you make of what we know?
Yeah, so I went through the whole criminal complaint, and there's a lot here, and it looks like the FBI conducted an investigation over a period of time and had a lot of different sources of information. So first of all, in terms of the timing, it looks to me like they really had no choice but to wrap it up when they did. They had suspects who were purchasing weapons over a period of a couple months, purchasing large volumes of ammunition over a period of a couple months, purchasing tactical gear, going out to shooting ranges, and then coupled with communications that they had, and they were obtaining the communications. The FBI was obtaining the communications through a confidential human source, through an FBI undercover agent, through other subpoenas and other legal process that they could serve, through a variety of communication mechanisms that a group is using. So they had a lot of information, and once they started to have the weapons, the ammunition, potential timing that they thought was tied to Halloween, I think it makes sense that they disrupted it.
Let's turn to another case. The Justice Department said that Trump's personal vendetta against former FBI Director James Comey did not lead to his indictment. In a court filing, the Justice Department urged a judge not to throw out charges against Comey over Trump's social media post in which he clearly called for Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, to go after Comey as well as 2 others. What do you make of that argument?
Well, vindictive prosecution is a hard case to make on behalf
Very seldom
of a
accepted, right?
defendant. If there was any case that sort of tees up the issues, this might be the one. Obviously, extremely high profile, so many public statements on the part of the president. And then there's the piece of who actually took the case. The fact that the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia was forced to resigns on a Friday night. Then you've got a acting U.S. attorney who is appointed by the president, not drawn from the Office of Prosecutors, but instead drawn from the White House.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
So there's a lot of information that the defense can bring forward in this case. Again, a hard case to bring, but if they're going to be successful, this seems like a logical case to do.
As long as I hear. I mean, this is me with lots of questions for you about lots of legal matters. I got another one for you. Okay. You know, I ran into you at a high school football game, so you know I'm interested in this one. The U.S. military has killed at least 64 people in 15 strikes that have destroyed 16 suspected drug boats in an effort to curb the flow of drugs into the United States from South America. The Trump administration told Congress that the U.S. is now in an armed conflict against drug cartels, and they say that the ability to engage in these lethal strikes without any judicial review is due to a classified Justice Department legal opinion. Do you think there is sufficient legal justification for this, at least as far as we know? And if not, is there anything that can be done to stop the Trump administration?
So on that last question, I don't think so, unless Congress were to act in a bipartisan way, and given the current situation, that seems pretty unlikely. Look, in this particular circumstance, as a national security lawyer, I can imagine circumstances and facts that would be able to get an administration to the arguments that they're trying to make. But in this case, the administration hasn't made those arguments. And what they have to get to is they have to demonstrate, based on their own arguments, that there is an armed conflict with these cartels that they are doing the strikes against. They have not articulated that in any public way. And so as a matter of constitutional law, while a president and an executive has a very broad amount of authority as commander in chief, under international law, the strikes are supposed to be necessary. They're supposed to be proportional. They are supposed to be part of an armed conflict, and the administration has not made that case publicly, and it doesn't sound like, based on reporting, that they've even made that case to members of Congress who sit on the relevant committees who are supposed to receive this information.
Carrie Cordero, thanks so much for your expertise as always. A 3-hour wait to get through airport security, 3 hours? That's the harsh reality at one major airport today as the government shutdown causes even more TSA staffing shortages. That story's next.